I knew that my ex was not a good man, but when I learned what he did to his precious son, his baby boy, well, I could not just let it fly. So I decided it's time to get my own revenge.
Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Hey guys, I'm 29 and female, and I was in what seemed like the perfect relationship with my boyfriend Jake. We've been together for 3 years and everything appeared great on the surface. He was charming, attentive, and we've had a strong connection. However, I soon discovered the awful truth. I found out Jake was cheating on me with multiple women, including our neighbor Darla. She and I have been enemies ever since. The betrayal, it kind of shattered me, honestly. I was an emotional wreck, alternating between sobbing fits and numb despair. I mean, how could the man I loved and trust do this to me? To make matters worse, Jake had a 5-year-old son, Liam, from a previous relationship, and he was a horribly neglectful, abusive father. Once, when Liam was staying with us, I noticed bruises on his little arms. When I confronted Jake, he claimed Liam just plays rough, but I knew better. I discreetly took some photos of the injuries in case I needed evidence later, reeling from Jake's infidelity and now certain he was abusing his child. I decided to take action. You know what? Two could play at the deception game, buddy. I began gathering evidence of Jake's cheating texts, his emails, his receipts from the hotels and restaurants. Darla even bragged to me about their affair, taunting that Jake would leave me for her. Once I had compiled undeniable all the proof and misconduct, I planned to expose Jake to everybody in his life. I just waited for the perfect moment, which came at this big family 4th of July celebration. In front of his parents, siblings, and friends, I revealed everything. The cheating, the abuse, all of it. I had photos, screenshots, even a confession with Darla. Jake was absolutely stunned. I mean, he did try to deny it at first, but my evidence was ironclad. His family was horrified and his parents were in tears. His brother lunged at him in anger, and I watched him with a cold satisfaction as Jake's picture-perfect image crumbled to pieces. I also shared how I had already reported Jake's abuse to Liam and the CPS. They had opened an investigation, and Jake begged me not to do this, claiming he would lose Liam. I told him he should have thought about that before raising a hand to his kid. He had only himself to blame, and word of Jake's misdeed, it spread all around town, and his family cut him off completely, and his job started an internal review of his conduct. Suddenly, that great guy image was now the pariah of his own life. Alone and spiraling, Jake fixated his rage on me. Guys, late one night, a drunk Jake pounded on my door screaming that I've ruined his life. Our neighbor Darla tried to pull him away to, well, obviously hook up, but Jake was too far gone. He even hurled a patio chair through her window, shattering the glass and accusing her of ruining him too. The police, they arrived and swiftly arrested him that night. He's now facing charges, vandalism, property damage, disturbing the peace, and much more. But guys, I think this is only the beginning. Anyways, I will update you. I just had to vent and get this out a little bit. Thank you, and if you have any advice, please let me know. What's up, everybody? So we do have some comments to check out because, guys, that was only the main post. There is 2 more posts to go through with an urgent update at the end, and I'm going to let you know this story is about to go insane. First, let's check out the first comment from throwra_concerned. They say, OP, I'm sorry you're going through this nightmare. What your ex did is absolutely unforgivable. You did the right thing by exposing his abuse and cheating, but now you need to prioritize your safety above all else. Don't underestimate the lengths an abuser will go to maintain control. Please consider staying with a friend or family member for a while, at least until he's definitely behind bars. And absolutely file for a restraining order ASAP. Document everything and report any violations immediately. You need the legal system on your side to protect you. Wish you strength and healing. You'll get through this. And that's when a comment replied to that from Devil's Advocate _92. You know what? I'm probably going to get downvoted to oblivion for this, but everybody sucks. Yeah, the guy cheated. Yeah, it's awful. But did OP really need to go nuclear and publicly humiliate him like that? It seems a bit vindictive. He's such a horrible father. Why not focus on getting the kid to safety quietly through proper channels? Blowing up his life and painting him as a villain narrative is only going to make him more unhinged. OP practically created her own nightmare by poking the bear. The mature thing would have been to just end the relationship and report the alleged abuse to CPS, without the dramatic expose. OP, I think you're, it's not blameless. Final reply from Throw RA Concern says, hey, wow, victim blaming much? OP did not, quote, create her own nightmare. Her abusive, cheating ex did that on his own. She has every right to expose his true colors to his enable. Abusers thrive on secrecy, and OP took that power away. And the alleged abuse, did you miss the part where she had photographic evidence? SMH? Publicly revealing his crime is not vindictive. It's holding him accountable. The only one responsible for this unhinged behavior is him. Check yourself. Update number 1, 4 days later. Hey guys, CPS has begun a thorough investigation into Liam's welfare under Jake's care. They're closely monitoring Jake, making random surprise visits to check on Liam's well-being and home environment. I've spoken to the caseworkers who seem determined to get to the bottom of the alleged abuse. I'm increasingly worried about my own sister. Jake has proven himself unstable and his life is shambles because of what I exposed. If he was able to hurt his own child, I'm terrified of what he might do to me in retaliation. So I check my locks constantly and have started varying my routines to avoid being tracked. This has all taken a toll on my work and daily life. I'm having trouble focusing at my job and my performance is slipping. I'm jumping at shadows you can barely even see, and I'm not going to be able to sleep anytime soon. My friends have been understanding, but I feel guilty for dragging them into this mess. As for Darla, I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. See, Jake hurled vicious insults at her that night, blaming her for, quote, seducing him. Never mind that he was a willing participant. Wow. She's responsible for her role in the affair, but the property damage and harassment is all on Jake. Darla's been avoiding me, shooting me dirty looks whenever we cross paths. Jake's family is reeling. His parents have completely cut off contact with their son. I heard this mother collapsed and had to be rushed to the urgent care when she heard about the abuse allegations. His siblings are torn between supporting their brother and being repulsed by his appearance. The family has rallied around Liam, the innocent victim in all this. Guys, strange things have started happening to me in the past few days. I've been getting random hang-up calls, always from an unknown number. My social media has been flooded with friend requests from accounts I don't even recognize. It feels like I'm being watched. I suspect Jake is behind all this. He must be trying to intimidate me as retaliation. My fears, they were confirmed when I walked out to my car one morning. I found the tire slashed and the word liar keyed into the driver's side door. I can only assume Jake is escalating. He's trying to rattle me, to punish me for turning his life upside down, but I won't let him make me cower. I documented the vandalism and I filed a police report. It gets worse. I've started receiving disturbing emails and text messages from unknown accounts. They say things like, I'll make you pay for this, and you'll be sorry, and Jake is making his desire for vengeance very clear, and guys, I am genuinely scared. I never know what I'll be faced with each day. How far will he go? What if he shows up at my work or home, and I'm starting to regret exposing Jake's true nature, but I had to protect Liam. I did the right thing, even if it put me in danger. My next step is to contact the police about the vandalism, threats and harassment, and I need to loop them in before Jake does something truly unhinged. He needs to understand that there's consequences for his actions, that he can't bully me into silence or submission. I'm also considering a restraining order. I refuse to live in fear. I'll update you guys in just a little bit. Edit. Guys, I'm sorry, I had to come back and edit this update. Things have started to take a scary turn. Last week, Jake caused a huge scene at my job. He showed up in the parking lot and ranted and raved about how I, quote, backstabbed him and took away everything. My coworkers called security and Jake bolted, but not before threatening ominous retaliation, saying I'd get what's coming to me. It was a wreck. I'm a wreck. constantly looking over my shoulder, and he has nothing left to lose and he blames me for everything. Update number 2, 2 weeks later. Oh boy, so a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks. Most notably, Jake was arrested after the scene he caused at my workplace. He's now facing a slew of charges. We're talking vandalism, making criminal threats, violating the restraining order I was granted. He could be looking at some serious jail time. And at his hearing, the judge deemed him a threat to my safety and denied him bail. It's a relief to know that he's locked up, at least for now. In a shocking twist, Darla completely flipped on Jake. She's now claiming that he manipulated and threatened her into the affair, and she's trying to press charges against him too, for the property damage when he threw the chair through her window. It's hard to believe her sudden change of heart, but I think she's just trying to save her own skin, if you ask me. She wants to be seen as the victim, not the homewrecker. CPS, well, let me get to that. They finally concluded their investigation, and the outcome was grim for Jake. They found substantial evidence of abuse, and they just recommended Jake's parental rights be absolutely terminated. Of course, there's going to be a court process, but it looks like he will lose all custody, and unsupervised visitations will be prohibited. This is the right thing for Liam's safety, but it's still heartbreaking. I mean, come on, that poor child. Jake's family, well, they remain utterly fractured. His sister was washed her hands of him completely. She's disgusted and says that she was always suspecting something was off with Jake's temper and the treatment of Liam. Liam always looks sad. His mom is the only one still speaking to him, and even that's limited, and Jake has not been invited to a single family gathering since everything came out. His once tight-knit family now wants to do away with him. I heard his father even made some very threatening remarks about what he would like to do to Jake for abusing his grandbaby. The smear campaign against me has escalated, though. It doesn't seem he really cares about that restraining order. Somebody, I assume Jake or one of his friends, has been spreading vile rumors about me on social media. They've even posted about me being crazy, obsessed with Jake, and a pathological liar bent on making his destructive path end. Some posts even claimed that I was abusive to Jake and Liam. It's absolutely preposterous, but people are eating it up. I mean, there was like 62 comments. I think they want to believe Jake is a victim, not a predator. My reputation is taking a massive hit, and I'm getting harassed by his sympathizers constantly. I've had to block Jake on all social media and change my number. He's tried to reach out to my friends and family, spreading poison about me to them too. I mean, he's determined to ruin every relationship that I have. It's devastating, and my own parents are doubting me because of his manipulation. My world feels like it's crumbling, and I'm more isolated than ever. Jake's threats have been increasingly unhinged. I wake up every day to a barrage of emails describing violent revenge thoughts that he sends me, photoshopped images of my face all bruised up. Guys, it's psychological warfare. I'm working with authorities to document everything in hopes of bringing more charges against him. I don't feel safe in my own home. I'm terrified of what he might do when he eventually gets out. My attorney is pushing for the strictest sentence possible, but I have a feeling this nightmare is far, far from over. Update number 3. He's out. Guys, he's out. He got out of jail. Something about the jail being overpopulated with the virus running rampant, and since he wasn't really through with this court date yet, they decided to release him on bail. Well, in the most horrifying turn of events, Jake showed up at my house one night last week. He must have found some money for that bail, so I woke up to him pounding on my door, screaming that I destroyed his life and he was going to make me pay. I tried my best to dial emergency services, but he broke through my door before I could. Jake lunged at me in an absolute blind rage. Wrapping his hands around my throat, I truly thought he was going to kill me. I fought back with all my strength, kicking and clawing at him, and we struggled, and I felt myself losing conscious. The last thing I remembered before blacking out was Darla bursting in. I guess she saw Jake break in and called the police. She's always been nosy. I wake up in the hospital with a concussion, broken ribs, and countless contusions. But you know what? As much as I hate Darla, if Darla had not called for help that night when she did, I'd be dead. Jake was sentenced on the spot after being teased by the officers. It turns out that he had violated his bail agreement, and for the assault and break-in, Jake was sentenced to 14 years in prison. He's also been prohibited from having any contact with me or Liam forever. I'm told Liam is safe now, in the custody of Jake's mom. The silver lining is that the sweet boy can hopefully start to heal without his abusive father in his life. As for me, it's a long road ahead. I'm a shell of my former self, broken physically and emotionally, but I'm also stronger. If I've learned anything from this hell, it's the importance of standing up for yourself and others, and I don't regret reporting Jake's abuse or cheating. I just pray that in time I can feel whole again. So, I hope in sharing my story, I can give other victims the courage to speak up and get out before it's too late. Just remember, you're not alone.
Wow, I mean, that was a tragic story. I could not imagine being in OP's position, but at least OP never gave up and always found a way to stand up for herself. She fought back that night, and, well, we do have to give somewhat of a shout out to Darla. I know she's part of the problem that kickstarted all this cheating, but hey, it's said in the story OP's ex was cheating with multiple women, so at the end of the day, it wasn't just Darla who started this entire thing. And we can't forget Darla did save OP's life by intervening that night when Jake popped in laughing on his madman tear. Anyways, guys, Jake got 12 years in prison. He got everything he deserved, and you know what? I have a sneaking suspicion he's not going to get out in 12 years. He's probably going to do something stupid, locked up, and get even more years extended on. He seems like that kind of person. Guys, I want to know your thoughts about this. Drop it down below in the comment section. What would you do if you had to go ahead and live with this nightmare of a man named Jake who not only abused his own son, but abused everybody in his path? Alright guys, my name's mr.reddito. I narrate stories like this every single day. And you've stumbled upon my revenge channel, where every story has something to do with revenge or karma. Guys, have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Of course, remember though, it's cool to be kind. See ya.